This was Sixers Pistons in a nutshell. You got Trenton Watford airballing this floater for Tobias Harris to bring it up the court. Crisscrosses him with a hezzy, throws it up to Jalen Duren, who slams it for two. That was not fake footage. Tobias Harris really did just do that, of all players. That was the perfect encapsulation of what the Sixers defense was like against the Pistons. They lost 109 to 131. Welcome on into NZ for 3, where we talk Sixers nonstop. If you're a diehard Sixers fan, hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. I did watch this entire basketball game, so please help me out. I appreciate the likes and the subscriptions. Anyway, let's just get down to business. So imagine being Jeff Bezos in your billion-dollar condo. You paid all this money for NBA broadcasting rights. You sit on your couch, you flip on your TV, looking at this big-time matchup between the Sixers and Pistons. You know, Joel Embiid versus Cade Cunningham, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Duren, all these stars, so-called stars, not in Paul George's case. You flip on the TV, and you see just a bunch of unrecognizable players. And you think, who the is Dalen Terry? Who the is Tyrese Martin? I spent all this money for the NBA to be put on my network, and this is the product that's on the court. It's because you had the Sixers on national TV. Don't do that, because the Sixers and consistency when it comes to availability is like oil and water. Does not match, does not jive together. And that's pretty much what the ethos of that game was. You had the Pistons trying to attack the basket as much as possible because the Sixers had no point of attack defense. Whenever a player would blow past a Sixer defender, they would all just collapse on him and they would kick it out to an open shooter. First play of the game, Cade Cunningham beating Edwards off the dribble, sailing for the easiest layup of his career. A couple possessions later, you had Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson looked like a premier slasher against the Sixers last night. That says a lot about the Sixers defense more than it does about Duncan Robinson. Robinson just cooked them the entire game. It wasn't just from threes, okay? He was knifing his way to the basket, beat Edwards off the dribble, and threw a sick alley-oop to Jalen Duren. He had a couple of those, as we just saw in that last clip. Cade was just working in the paint, man. He had 8 points total, yet 13 assists and was a plus 27, which really jumped out to me because I've been watching the Pistons a lot lately, and they really are not as scary of a team with Cade Cunningham off the court. He is just that valuable to them. When he's not on, the Pistons are off, really. Their second option is what? Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris. I mean, they didn't have Karis LeVert or Asar Thompson in this game, so they were beat up a little bit. Not as much as the Sixers, yet that talent disparity was still wide enough to where the Pistons were able to just completely blow it out of the water in the third quarter, went on a 22-7 run. Sixers just got pounded. They kept it. They kind of did keep it close a little bit in the second quarter when Cade got out. You had Beauchamp and Grimes carrying a lot of the offense. I thought going into this game, it was going to be, VJ Edgecombe just chucking up a bunch of shots, yet it really did seem like the offense was running through Grimes. Yeah, ended up having 14 shots, 5 for 14. Yeah, he didn't really end up shooting well. Had the same amount of shots, though. Both VJ and Grimes struggled mightily against the Pistons. VJ's top play was a really nice putback dunk. He was cutting off the baseline off a miss. Other than that, he could not generate any shots. Marcus Sasser was playing really good defense on him. And I'm seeing on social media everyone clown VJ saying, oh yeah, he's not going to be a first option. He's not going to develop into a star. He can't do anything without Maxey or an Embiid. What did you expect out of a 19, 20-year-old with no point guard on the floor, playing with a bunch of 2K generated players against one of the top defenses in the NBA? VJ has surpassed expectations this season by far, really, of what we expected out of him. For him to just have this bad game and then completely trash him after it really makes no sense. I mean, look who was on the court. You had Kyle Lowry play 4 minutes in an NBA game in 2026. Now, it was only 4 minutes, yet still, Kyle Lowry, 2026. And I thought we had a deep guard lineup coming into this season. That's what happens when you trade Jared McCain for a pack of pretzels. Andre Drummond didn't play either, by the way, which really didn't impact the game much because Drummond is terrible. You didn't have a center, though. You had Dominic Barlow play center for the majority of the game, which went about as well as you expected it to, as Pistons cutters were constantly attacking the paint, getting off the baseline. Barlow just did not catch them. Just the defensive communication on this team was just putrid. They would always just ball watch on Cade Cunningham, as if Cade was the only player on the court. The Pistons were generating so many open looks, just getting into the paint, and the Sixers for perimeter defense just collapsing on them every single time. First quarter, you get Cade Cunningham up top, beats Grimes off the dribble, gets it to Duncan Robinson, drains that three. No defenders. Look at this defense. Because Grimes got beat off the dribble, everyone's looking at Cade now. You had Barlow having to step up to defend him. Then you got these two shooters wide open. I don't know what Justin Edwards is doing. He's just left wide open on an island. And then you got these two wide open shooters that Cade can pass the ball to. Grass is green and the Sixers cannot play transition defense. Cade would get the rebound, or Jalen Duren gets the rebound. Cade zips it right to Duncan Robinson, fakes to his left, barrels into Barlow. Look at Barlow backpedaling. You see Duncan Robinson immediately sprint down to the corner. Barlow's backpedaling, not even being aware of who his man is. Easy. Too easy. We're going over how Duncan Robinson cooked them, yet this also shows just how good Jalen Duren was in this game. The box score, bro, Jalen Duren just bodied Dominic Barlow in transition. Easy three, practice shot. How to outcoach Nick Nurse. Step 1, set a ball screen. Step 2, score, because you'll get a wide open shot every time. We see Barlow again not committing to that switch. Paul Reed didn't really even dedicate to that screen much, and now the Sixers are scrambling. Now that Cade's getting into the paint, you need VJ to step up. Zips it to Sasser, zips it to Robinson. VJ cannot catch him in time. Unlike Nick Nurse, JB Bickerstaff actually draws up plays. We're going to see Cade inbound the ball to Duncan Robinson. Robinson's going to set that screen for Cade. And instead of Dalen Terry switching on to Duren, he's going to chase Cade over that screen, forcing Cam Payne to cover Duren. Duncan Robinson left wide open again. Sixers were only down 9 to start the second quarter. Got Cade Cunningham finding Isaiah Stewart. Who is Trendon Watford guarding? You already have Barlow on beef stew, and he picked up his dribble. Go over and defend Kevin Huerter, who he hasn't been that good for the Pistons. You can't leave a professional basketball player known for shooting wide open. Kevin Huerter, a professional basketball player, getting wide open shots again. We see him get the pass to Cade up top. Cade crosses up Barlow. We got Cam Payne gambling on Cade Cunningham for some reason, not covering his man once again. You already have Trendon Watford, who could slide in for help. Too easy. Just too easy for all these shooters. The Pistons ended up shooting 14 for 35 from deep, 40%. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, though. I did like the way Justin Edwards played in this game. Had 15 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. Had a great inbound steal off of Cade Cunningham after a tip-in layup, I believe, in the second quarter. He did play a big role in the Sixers making that second quarter comeback. There have been parts throughout the season where Edwards, he can catch fire and just take over the offense. I do go back to that one Celtics game earlier in the season where he just went berserk, draining threes left and right, helping the Sixers win that game. The thing is, though, he has the fourth lowest net rating in the NBA. We see these guys go on these runs, and everyone's saying, why isn't Justin Edwards getting more minutes? I like Justin Edwards. I like his hustle. It's just that his defense is so atrocious. He has no lateral quickness, no situational awareness. He plays hard. He does play hard. He just doesn't have those physical tools, really, compared to all these other role players on these contending teams. Everyone just keeps saying, why isn't Justin Edwards getting more minutes? Why isn't, why we need to, play Tyrese Martin more? These guys aren't getting minutes on legit contenders. I hate to break it to you, but this Sixers team is tanking. They didn't really look like they were tanking. They were playing hard. I mean, I'll give them that. They were playing hard. It's just that it's funny how these guys, they just have these spurts of playing well, and everyone wants them to be, foundational, rotational players moving forward. You need legit talent to win an NBA championship. The Sixers don't have it. They have 75% of their salary cap sitting on the bench eating Twinkies. So they're pretty much screwed when it comes to how they're going to manage their rotation. So that's why we have to keep playing guys like Justin Edwards and finding these, Marjon Beauchamps and all that. It's great that they're getting time, that they're, getting reps in. I wish them the best. It's just that if the Sixers want to be a serious contender, are we really going to have these guys on the court? Duren did most of his damage in the third quarter. We got him up top. Barlow guarding him. Way too easy, man. It's not like Barlow was even defending him in the first place. Duren just way too strong for him. This was the cherry on top. We got Cade and Duren running the two-man game. Duren dives to the basket. Jabari Walker did not want any piece of that Jalen Duren alley-oop. He saw what happened last time he got up on Duren. Did not want to be made a highlight play once again. In the third quarter alone, they may let Javonte Green hit two threes from the corner. The first one right here. Ball watching on Cade once again does not close out on the shooter. Sixers had the opportunity to go on the fast break. Bad pass by Green. Barlow swatted it, but Dalen Terry and this is just the most Sixers play ever right here. Terry had it, man. He had it in his hands, but just slips out, goes right back to Stewart. To Javonte Green, splash. It really needs to be studied how terrible the Sixers are in the third quarter. I don't know. I honestly have no clue why. I don't know what they do during halftime that makes them play so lackadaisical, so disoriented, letting these teams go on runs constantly again and again. They play decent in the first half, but then in the third quarter, it's like they never picked up a basketball before. Is it like something they're eating? Team like pregame meal or something? Some type of someone like sneaking in some type of chemical that's like deteriorating their brain cells by the time the third quarter comes? I have no clue. All I know is just that this team, they are too small. They just don't shoot enough. They don't shoot enough threes. No floor spacing. They had no centers in this game yet. Honestly, I don't think even having a center would have changed anything. The Pistons are simply much more talented, much more physical, much bigger than the Sixers are. I don't really see any point to them either tanking or going for a playoff run. They don't have enough chemistry to go on some type of magical run. Now, the Pistons, when Cade Cunningham isn't playing well, the Pistons aren't that scary, in all honesty. Everything runs through Cade Cunningham on that team. You're going to have Tobias Harris be your second option, Jalen Duren. There are some great players on the Pistons. Asar Thompson is great. Karis LeVert, too. They were missing them. Yet, really, when Cade isn't out there commanding the entire offense, and when he's not shooting well, drawing so much attention to where he can use his amazing court vision to go kick it out to shooters, the Pistons really do look stagnant on offense. The teams like the Celtics and the Knicks are kind of just a lot more well-rounded when it comes to overall floor spacing and offensive consistency. Pistons have done a good job, defensively, on the boards, being really physical. That was a big part as to why they are the first seed in the East. I don't really know if they can go on a playoff run, a deep playoff run this season. given that they don't really have a legit second option, in all honesty. The Celtics, you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. New York, you got Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Are you really going to win Jalen Duren as your second option? Cade Cunningham is amazing, superstar. But if you have Tobias Harris as a foundational role player on your team, I don't really know if you can go on a deep playoff run, in all honesty. We'll see if the Sixers win against the Brooklyn Nets Saturday afternoon. But be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. We're going to continue doing these game recaps here on NZ for 3. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.